Hello and welcome back to Sungrandcast. Thank you for joining me today. I am Jerrel.
I'm Grant.
Now today we've got a couple of interesting topics, so if you've missed our previous two episodes, I'll put the link in the description and feel free to enjoy those episodes at your leisure. So today, Grant, I wanted to discuss a topic that I think is pretty fun, and with our format on the show here, we start it with a topic, we have some news, and then the last portion of our show will have a lucky dip where we will look up a website and just look for news articles and see if there's anything interesting that we can discuss.
You just randomly rant.
That's it. So today, I want to start it with the topic, should Sega make a new console?
Ooh, I like it.
I had a feeling you might enjoy that, so I'll just go ahead and let you get started on your answer.
Okay, so now we also have to define what a console is, sort of thing. So,
yes.
Do I think that they should make a Saturn Mini? I 100% do. Do I think they should make a successor to the Dreamcast? Maybe not.
And that's interesting. I think with the mini consoles, absolutely. But I would really like to see Dreamcast take the indie route and focus on supporting smaller creators and have a platform that is designed expressly for creativity and being able to liaise closely with smaller independent studios. This is something that we don't really have in the industry at the moment. Nintendo is quite good at it, but the problem is that there are so many smaller independent developers on the Nintendo Switch eShop that it's actually quite difficult to get your products seen. And we don't necessarily get to work very closely with Nintendo and discuss many different things like that, but Sega is in a position where they can actually communicate with their audience in close ways. For example, if there's a movie being produced and it features a hedgehog that is just nightmare fuel, Sega can listen to people and say, all right, we hear you, absolutely.
And I just want to also big hats off to they heard when spoiler alert for the end of Sonic 2, the movie, if you haven't seen it, when they announced that Shadow was on the way.
Oh, right, fantastic.
And the entire fan base went, please get Keanu Reeves.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Well, he is.
Oh, fantastic.
You did not know?
No, I did not know this.
Oh, it's glorious.
I work very long hours.
This is true. So,
I don't get to keep up with everything.
I'll bring you up to speed.
Okay,
there has been a trailer for the third one.
Yes.
And Shadow has 2 and a bit lines of dialogue that you hear, and he sounds magnificent.
Oh, fantastic. So this is exactly what I mean, where Sega is in a unique position because there is no really other company that can collaborate and liaise with their audience as well. So recently, in the past few years, we have seen, say for example, a new platform from Atari. They launched the Atari VCS, and I think that could be a great platform potentially for smaller independent developers, but it is a platform all on its own. It is Linux based, and so if you can create games for Linux, you can get your game onto the Atari VCS. I would like to see Sega take a similar low-cost approach. We are seeing so many handheld consoles being created by companies that are not huge. You don't have to be a huge company like Nintendo or Sega. And please tell me a little bit about the consoles that you have that focus on emulation.
Well, I've got an Evercade,
Yes.
which is made by Blaze Entertainment, who talk about a company that's kind of gone from learning from past mistakes to
Correct.
releasing something now that is really genuinely high quality feeling. And
Yes.
the updates that they keep bringing out for it as well, it's a platform that they are very heavily supporting.
Yes.
So the Evercade essentially is a cartridge-based console,
Yes.
and they focus on getting kind of like dead IPs or
Please, dead is a harsh word, Grant.
yeah, true. Okay, let's just say the living impaired. So, they get compilations from companies like Interplay or Renovation, who were pretty much mainly known for the Valis series. And yeah, they have these compilation cartridges that you can put into the Evercade, playing through, modern TVs and stuff like that. But they also have full color booklets that will give you information about the companies.
That's so fantastic.
And
the presentation is there, and it shows that the people that are making this really care.
10 out of 10 as far as like preservation and presentation. Absolutely brilliant.
What about the Polymega?
So the Polymega is another like console that I wish to be buried with when I die.
Yes.
That is definitely more of a store the games that you have onto it.
Yes.
And that way you don't have to continually use your cartridges and your disc-based games and getting them scratched and all that kind of stuff. And you've got, infinite play on the Polymega. I truly love my Polymega like something crazy, and I'm interested to see because last year they got a 50% purchase from Atari. So far, all we've seen from that merger is that there's been just talk of Atari-based modules, so you'll be able to play 2600, 5200, 7800 games and that. But nothing has eventuated from it. Pretty much Atari just injected a bunch of money so that they could kind of get their business logistics back on track.
I see. And we have companies like Panic producing the Playdate, which I think is a fantastic platform, and it's so great that developers can express their creativity. So we can see that it is an option. You don't need to be one of the big three these days in order to have a console and a platform. And I'm really hoping that Sega will consider their options, because I believe that they are in opportunity. They're in a position to create a very interesting opportunity.
Do you think that... Because, Atari really came back into the mix banking on nostalgia.
Yes.
Because if you even have a look at the VCS, it very much is a modern stylized version of the 2600. Like, I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's because I grew up with a 2600 in the home. Of
course, same here, yes.
Whereas if you were to show that to someone younger, I think they would sort of just look at it and go, what's with the weird fin, kind of things?
So here's the thing.
What's the wood panel? Why is it wood?
Here's the thing. I had some family over a couple months ago, and someone in their early teens, 14 years old at the time. I just let them try the Atari VCS and the games that were on there, and he immediately liked it.
Okay.
He actually really enjoyed how simple the games were. He really liked the classic controller.
I was actually about to say, did you give him the classic or did you give him the modern controller?
The classic.
Interesting.
And I said, do you want to play some Smash? And he said, I'm just going to play Atari a little bit more.
That gives me hope for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it goes to show that people understand what fun is. They know what a fun game is, even if it's very simple, even if it's a couple dots on the screen. People know what fun is, and they can see it.
And the CEO of Atari now, Wade Rosen, I believe his name is, he really does seem to be on the right idea.
Right.
Like, he's not let's invest in Bitcoin and Atari hotels that whatever the hell the last one was.
Stretching thin, isn't it?
Since he's come into power, power, like as if he's some sort of dictator. But he in all the interviews I've seen with him, he seems like he's a really, really cool guy.
Yes.
But he's not only brought in the VCS, but he's done a re-release of the 2600.
Yes,
called the 2600 Plus.
Yes.
And recently, as of the time of the recording of this, announced a 7800 Plus.
I have all the respect in the world for what Atari is doing with their brand right now. The fact that they are giving something that people can enjoy, that remind them of gaming when they were younger, and they can enjoy it in a modern setting without having to have weird fork cables, shoved into their TV. And I really respect that. I think what they're doing, they're doing a great job, and I would really like to see Sega do something with a new platform.
Now, as a developer, have you reached out to a VCS representative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have something that is in the final stages of publishing.
And I mean, obviously, I don't want to sort of say anything that might be NDA'd or anything like that. But do you find that the interaction with them on that industry level is the same as, like, you've also published things through Nintendo and had an amazing experience with Nintendo? So, like, do you feel that it's on that same, like, kind of respect level, or is it a little bit more kind of casual, or...
Well, I can't really discuss any of those sort of things because of NDAs.
Of course.
But what I can say is every company that you deal with has been so different. I've shipped titles on many different platforms through different companies, and it's always a little bit of a slap in the face when you deal with a new company, because you think, oh, maybe some of the culture will be similar, but it's always different. The process, the process is always so different, and then the paperwork, the back end, and so I just have to remind myself, I haven't shipped with this company before. I'm just going to have to reset my progress a little bit, and then just learn, how everything works. So, and in a way, that's a little bit exciting as well when you're shipping on a new platform. So,
because at a retail level, the big three have three very different ways of how they interact with, like, our stores.
Right. Interesting.
Like,
that makes sense.
Sony has we hold everyone at arm's length.
I see.
We will tell you what you're able to get, and then you kind of tell us, and then we just sort of judge our relationship on that.
Interesting.
Xbox is actually very much you sold this many, so we're going to help you more because people are coming to you to get our product.
Interesting.
So they will make the deals a little bit more tailored to your retail store depending on that relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, it was always a funny thing that I loved Xbox's business practices, pretty much even up to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
But I never liked any of their products. I was always either a hardcore Sony or a hardcore, and I'm always a hardcore Nintendo fan. But it's interesting.
I would just like to put my formal bid out into the ether, as it were, to Sega, that if you were to produce a new Sega console, a new platform, I will happily develop exclusive titles for you. Make the console, I'll make exclusive titles for you. I'm happy to keep titles just for you.
I mean, they host conventions where they tell people, "Hey, make us a Sonic the Hedgehog game," and sometimes those people end up part of the Sega actual crew. Like,
I think Sega's in such a great, unique position. So I'd like to now address our news section of the episode, and that is The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom will be launching in 2 weeks from the time of recording. So how do you feel about that Zelda game?
So I'm someone who is not a huge Zelda fan. I have played all of them, and I do mean all of them. I even have a CDI with the Unholy Triforce.
The Unholy Trinity.
And I really only hold 4 Zelda titles in high regard.
Yeah, which are those?
Okay, so I mean,
I'm putting you on the spot.
I knew as soon as I said that, I was like,
I'm
gonna have to.
You're on the spot.
Well,
everyone will judge you. I'm just letting you know.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely are the god tier as far as I'm concerned.
Now, these last 2, you will be judged.
I'm sure. And
very critically.
It's very okay. So, the Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yes.
That's
the safest thing you could say.
Probably, actually. I mean, as far as how many hours I've put into any Zelda game, that one is by far got the most. And then the other one is Wind Waker.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent choices.
Everything else, I do have flaws that appeal to me, and they may not appeal to everyone. I can definitely see why the series has the fan base that it has.
Yes.
But it's just those particular games really don't speak to me. Yes, I have a huge problem with Link to the Past, and I will fight. But yeah, so with the new one, the fact that they opened with the idea of this time you get to play as Zelda in the Zelda game, and they did really play on that fact a lot. And then the second or third trailer came out and showed that, hey, you run around as Link as well. Kind of hurt a little bit.
Well, see, I'd analyzed the first trailer for that, and I forecasted that Link would be playable in the opening section of the game.
Which makes perfect sense.
In order to reach Zelda and attempt to save her, and then the game makes the switch there. So I'm hoping that is the only section where we play as Link. I was hoping that we would have extra game modes outside of the story mode where you get to play as Link. So I'm hoping that may still be an option. But I'm quite excited about this game because... Okay, so I'm a big Smash Bros. Player. I enjoy Smash Bros. And look, this is probably the wrong reason to be excited for a Zelda game, but obviously, there's a strong chance they'll make a new Smash Bros. Game, and I want to see Toon Zelda because
That'll be Toy Zelda.
Well, no, I think they'll call her Toon Zelda.
We do have Toon Zelda as...
No, there's no Toon Zelda in
there
Smash. Not? No. She was a cancelled character for one of the old ones. So...
isn't Tetra? I could have sworn
she was cancelled.
I could have sworn Tetra was in there. Wow, this is a Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, yeah. And so here's the thing. So in general, people don't like playing against Zelda in Smash, not necessarily because she's a good character, but because she can play quite toxically. She has a very degenerate gameplay style where it's just throwing things out with very little commitment. And
is as degenerate as Cloud though?
No, Cloud is way more fair than Zelda.
Okay.
And here's the thing, like Toon Zelda is going to have a moveset based on Echoes of Wisdom, and I think it's all going to be about summoning things and just throwing out a bunch of random stuff. And I really want to play the next Smash Bros. Game as this new Toon Zelda, and I think it's just a way for me to personally annoy my friends when playing Smash.
Isn't that what Smash is actually for, though?
I think it is. It's just about annoying your friends. But in all seriousness, I'm very much looking forward to... There are fun and interesting ideas here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's very exciting.
The fact that it's got that top-down camera style, but you really do have manipulation of the world and a really good physics engine behind it.
Yes.
I'm hoping that this is a stepping stone towards giving me my Zelda maker that'd be very fun. That they only dabbled in Link's Awakening on
the
Switch.
Remake,
So if they were to go all in on something like that, that would be a good.
I'm so excited to see a different mechanical formula because we're so accustomed to having sword, shield, some magic and items, and having Zelda be the impetus for a totally different gameplay style, I think that's so neat.
And the way that she summons enemies that do your fights for you.
Yes.
And then you would also summon random objects as your defense.
Yes.
Like I said, the possibilities are up there with the Breath of the Wild and the Tears of the Kingdoms games, and
Absolutely.
I love that concept.
Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It will be launching in 2 weeks. Will you be picking it up on launch day?
I will definitely be picking it up on launch day.
I think I will pick that up as well.
Yeah. And for you to say that as well, I know that really means something because your time is of a premium.
Oh yeah, absolutely. See, here's the thing. I always feel immense guilt when I start playing a game because I know that I have so much work to do on my games.
Yeah.
And so usually 15 minutes into playing a game, I'll think, I need to be working right now. So,
TikTok.
That's right, yeah. So I'm hoping that Echoes of Wisdom is huge. I hope the game world is huge. I hope the main story campaign is massive. And I hope there's just a huge amount of replay value.
Yeah, I mean, look, with all Zelda games and even the more linear ones, there's always a compelling reason to go back and play it again.
Yeah.
So even the terrible CDI ones, just to remind yourself of how bad they can be.
Do you think speedrunning will be a big part of this?
Oh,
game?
for sure!
Yeah.
Oh man,
Won't that be
I didn't
fun to
even
watch?
think about that.
Yeah.
Like someone will figure out, I can just make a bed on this particular rock, and that'll let me skip a quarter of the game.
Do you feel like Nintendo may have taken that a sort of emergent gameplay style? Do you think they would have taken that into account when designing this?
Well, I mean, the devs, when they got shown how people are speedrunning Breath of the Wild, they actually did sit down some of the devs and they were like, we didn't even think of that. Like, we never considered the idea of using the time hold and then using the momentum hits and then jumping onto the tree like as if you're climbing on it.
And just a short apology here. We actually had a technical issue. It was involved with a USB device, which just disconnected itself. It's the return of the curse of an unjust god. So we've lost only a couple seconds of audio, so sorry for that.
Yeah, I think at least we were kind of at the end of our discussion on it anyway, so,
yeah, so
hopefully it's not too jarring.
That was... So, again, we're very much looking forward to seeing the new Zelda games. So we're going to bring up the GameRant.com. We're just going to look at the articles here, and I'm scrolling through.
See what comes up.
And I've kind of got something here that looks interesting. The new MetaQuest 3S virtual reality headset feature leaks. Now, when it comes to leaks, do you tend to sort of ignore leaks, or do you kind of believe in them?
I do tend to ignore them until a company that's directly involved posts something about it. I tend to just sort of say, guys, I mean, look, I deal with it every day. The amount of times that I've had people saying, oh man, PS5 Pro, they're going to talk about it tomorrow. And then they say that for a whole 2 months. And then finally they do talk about it. Like, see, what did I tell you? I'm like, no, dude, you don't get that win.
Right.
You've been saying this for 2 months that tomorrow will be the day they talk about it. Like,
yeah.
So now that that's out of the way, I'm sure the Switch 2 ones will be thick and fast.
We've been getting so for years.
Absolutely.
They're announcing.
Like,
they're
even
announcing
before
the Switch
OLED
2
version, we were getting Switch 2 announced. Like,
yeah.
come on.
So, I mean, this is just a fun topic already to discuss. Is what do you think of leaks in general? You know, and I actually, here's the thing. What I really enjoy about our friendship is we're often on totally opposite ends of things, and I really enjoy that. I love jumping into the leaks. Here's the thing, though. I enjoy leaks the same way that I enjoy Madam Web.
Oh, jeez.
And that is, I just want to hear people talk about them.
See, but this is the thing, though. Like, if it's something that is completely on, like, you know, fictional false hope. Like,
yes.
Remember when they were saying, oh, man, there's going to be a new Star Fox game, and it's going to be a racing game, so it's going to be a kind of like a Star Fox F-Zero kind of collab. Like, guys, shut up. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not. And, you know, like, leaks... What is essentially the point of leaking something like that?
I think here's how I feel about it. You remember many years ago, back in school, on the playground, a kid would just make something up. And it was fun. It was like sitting around a campfire and telling a story, yeah. And I really enjoy that. So to me, a leak is kind of like sitting around a campfire and making up a fun story.
Yeah, see, this is where I do like to draw a line. I hate leaks. I love speculation.
Oh, right.
I love
Okay,
the what-if game, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I mean, you and I have sat here many times talking about a what if this happened sort of thing.
Yes.
How would it change things? But neither one of us has said, hey, my uncle who works with Shigeru Miyamoto, like, he's like his butler, and he said he was privy to a phone call where, like, you know, Nintendo, they're going to release a 4DS, and the characters will now actually come out of the screen. Like, why don't we just talk about, like, hey, let's speculate. What can Nintendo do in their handheld space that would differ it from what they're doing now?
So you are approaching it more of the earnestness of speculation, and as opposed to pretending that you have more information than you actually do.
Like, that's it. At the end of the day, I think leaks are for clout. And
I see.
I mean, if you're trying to vie for clout in an age where anyone can jump on a social media thing and just spout random stuff.
Oh, yeah. So it's an honesty thing. I see.
But yeah, no, that's that. And, you know, I actually don't really hate on people who, like, give into hype trains and stuff like that. Hype is, as far as I'm concerned, I believe hype is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
It moves everything along.
So here's the content of the article, which I feel like we have a pattern of just glossing over the actual content of the article. And I think that's more interesting. I think reading the title of something and going off on a tangent is more fun. I mean, these are features that just don't look like super interesting anyway. Sort of like, oh, there could be a button on the bottom of the headset that could be remappable.
What?
Hooray!
Like, don't we have controllers that completely take up our hands anyway? So why would a button, unless you want a button to push your glasses back up, sort of thing?
Yeah, or a defog, you know.
Oh, now that's an idea.
It defogs the inside.
I think that's a necessary thing. If that's a defog button, I might even consider getting one. Probably no, but like, you know.
I saw a photo on the internet the other day, and I don't know, I'm unsure of the provenance of this image, but it was explaining that this headset would have a microphone that would prevent audio leaks, and it just looked like a styrofoam cup was strapped over people's mouths.
So wouldn't that kind of audio kind of I guess picking and choosing, wouldn't that be down to a software level, sort of the same way that noise cancelling kind of works? I don't
know. I kind of feel like they mean they don't want people who are using the headset, they don't want their voice to be heard by everyone around them, like if they're sitting at a coffee shop. Right. But here's what's going to happen, because I once was a teenage boy. And if you have a friend who cannot see anything in his environment, and he's got something strapped to his face and something strapped to his mouth, you're going to hit the object.
You are absolutely going to mess with it.
Yeah, you're going to slap the thing off of his mouth part of his face. And it's, look, I've grown a lot over the years. I've changed and matured. But the teenage version of myself would have done that to his friends.
And I think that teenage version of ourselves is still there because we recognize that that's what we would do.
Exactly.
And it's those that are the truly foolhardy of us that say, "What if I did it?"
Yeah. And but for everyone that I grew up with, they understood it was fair game. If anyone did anything like that, fair game. Everyone's on equal playing field.
If you fell asleep first at the party, someone got a texter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There were things drawn on your face.
And you should know better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's rules, right?
Yeah. So, look, have fun when you're a teenager, right? Like, it doesn't last that long. Your teenage years with your friends, you've got to have as much fun as you can. You've got to value each other, because when you grow up, there's a very small chance that you'll ever see any of those people ever again.
But even besides that, those kind of life experiences sort of help you shape what to do and what not to do.
Absolutely.
You learn. It's really important.
Yeah. You learn which mistakes it's okay to make them, and the consequences aren't that bad. And you'll learn the consequences of mistakes where you realize this is very bad. I really need to not make this mistake.
So talk about a tangent. We've now just gone into self-help.
Yeah. You know, and it's enjoy your teenagers while you can. Have fun. And you know what? Slap a microphone off of your friend's face. Because when you're an adult, that's not okay. That's absolutely not okay.
Yeah, it starts to hurt. And, you know, when you're a kid, hurt is like, it only lasts a little while.
Well, Grant, it's been an absolute pleasure.
And always with you as well, my friend.
Thank you to everyone out there. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for enjoying. And if you do have any topics that you might be interested in having us discuss on an upcoming episode, please feel free to let us know in the comments.
And we'll try to not make it another couple of months in between the next time we meet up.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
See yous.